Hi, this is Lucy, and for my final project I decided to film my best lesson plan. I will be using my cameraman as my student, so I'll be talking directly to the cameraman as if he were working with me one-on-one as a student. And so let's begin. So I'm going to write 3 examples on the board for you. I'll do that right now, and I'm going to have you read them aloud to me, all right?
Okay.
I'm writing as fast as I can. Had to write a little small because my board's small, but... Alright, can you please read these aloud for me?
Can you open a window, please? Open a window. It's getting hot in here.
Alright, so thank you. Now, what about these 3 phrases do you notice? What feels the most polite to you? Which ones? Or which one?
I think the first one feels the most polite
Okay, why do you feel that way?
because of the word please.
Because of the word please. Very good. That's a good thing to point out. It's very polite to say please. Very good. Why might you not say this one, the second one, or the third one?
I don't really know.
Don't really know? That's all right. All right. So these 3 examples are all examples of different ways we can ask somebody something or ask someone to do something. So in this case, the person speaking wants to open a window. So they can say one of 3 things. Can you open a window, please? Open a window, or it's getting hot in here, which all mean the same thing. But the difference is in how you say it and how direct or indirect they are. So I'm gonna pretend that this is lower down in the whiteboard, the other side. So direct and indirect. Do you know these words?
I don't think so.
Do you need me to translate them for you?
Yes, please.
All right. Do that for you real quick. So this one is the first one. This is direct. Does that make sense to you? Does it translate correctly?
Yes.
Direct means like straightforward, you know? And then indirect
Okay.
Yep. So you see how they're kind of like opposites? Yep. So like direct is if I were to ask you to do something, I'd say, can you do this? That's direct. But indirect is to ask maybe, you should do this. Or it's not as straight to the point. You're kind of bouncing around the subject. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me go back to my plans. So the first example here, can you open a window, please, is direct. Ideally, in a classroom setting, I'd have a little more space here, but first one is direct. Open a window. Do you think that's direct or indirect?
Direct.
You are correct. Open a window is also direct. And what about the third one? Do you think this one is direct or indirect? It's getting hot in here.
Indirect.
Very good. See how that's indirect? Because the speaker isn't saying to open a window, but is saying the reason why they would want a window open. If it's getting too hot in a room, you'd open a window, right? So they're asking indirectly to open a window. Very good. Is this all making sense so far?
Mm-hmm.
Very good. All right, and the next thing to explain the differences between these three is that they're each a different example of, again, how to ask someone to do something. This first one up here we call a request. I'm just going to write it on this side again just so you can see it a bit better. Just know that example one is a request. Do you know this word? Request?
No.
All right, let me get a translation for that just so we're on the same page. Request.
Okay.
Yeah. So it makes sense why "can you open a window please" is a request, right?
Yeah.
You understand? Do you have requests in your home language? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. So a request is when you ask someone to do something. It is a question, and you are giving someone a choice to do said thing. So, "can you open a window, please?" is a request being made. So the speaker has the option to say yes or no, right?
Hmm?
Now, the next example, "open a window," is what we call, or usually refer to as, a demand. Do you know this word?
What's that?
A demand is like a request, but you're not giving the person you're asking as much of a choice. It's more telling someone to do something, like a command or an order, almost, kind of. Even if not all demands are supposed to be taken as "you need to do this," they can come across that way, right? So, do you understand how "open a window" is a demand?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you need a translation for demand at all, or do you think you...
Yeah.
You do? Okay. Just to make sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Alrighty. So, oh, I forgot to write it on. Oh no, I wrote it on this side, didn't I? So we have, oh no. I erased it. We have requests and demands. And again, the differences here is usually with the request, it is implied that there is a choice between yes and no. And for demands, it's more strict. You're kind of telling someone to do something, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's not really a no to a demand, right? And the last one, it's erasing on mine. The indirect way, which we discussed earlier, it's getting hot in here. This is what we call a hint. Have you heard that word? Or clue? It's kind of similar to clue.
I don't know what that means.
Gotcha. Let me translate it and then maybe explain it as well. Is that...
Okay.
So if you're trying to solve a mystery, there can be hints, right? A hint to the mystery. Can you think of an example of a hint, maybe? Like, if you're trying to play a game where someone needs to guess what I'm holding, you would maybe say, "it's small, it's green." Those are hints. Do you understand?
Yeah, like, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So these are the 3 different examples, or where they are. Request. Can you open a window, please? A demand. Open a window. Or a hint. It's getting hot in here. And these are all the different ways we respond. And which of these would you say is the most polite way to respond most of the time?
It would be a request.
Yeah. You're right. Most of the time, requests can be very polite. So it's good to keep in mind when you need to ask someone something, which of the 3 to use, or you will encounter, and which of the 3 is the most polite. Because it's always nice to be polite. And that is good to keep in mind. So before we move on to our next activity, I'm gonna pretend that's still here, but for the sake of I need more room, or I guess I could erase the back. Let's just still do this. Can we brainstorm maybe some ways we can ask a request? So for example, we have can you. So if you take away please and can you still have open a window, right? Which is the demand. So what makes this a request is the opening question starter, can you? And what's extra polite, as you pointed out, was please, right?
Yeah.
So can we think of other ways we can ask a question? Say you need to, besides can you. So we have can you, we know that one. But can you think of any other ways we can request something or ask a question? Like say you needed to go to the restroom. How would you request that? How would you start a request for the restroom?
Can I?
Can I? Very good. If you're having trouble, here's some ones that I personally have used. Similar to can, we have may I or may we. Another one I've used is, this one's a little longer. Is it okay if I? Another one. Might I possibly? Have you heard these?
I don't think so.
Haven't? That's all right. The more you know, the better. In fact, I can make a sheet with a bunch of sentence or question sentence starters for you if you want. So maybe we'll come back to these. Maybe I'll do a lesson on these. All right, good job. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna practice being polite with a few scenarios. And we're gonna practice using our sentence starters, and we're gonna try and make some requests if we can. Or maybe, if we're feeling fun, which we'll know it's not polite, but maybe we can try and use a demand or a hint too, just to see if we can. So here's our first of 8 scenarios. You are at a restaurant and your waiter has brought you the wrong food. How might you express this to your waiter? Yeah. And what else would you say? Maybe may I?
May I get some more food?
Mm-hmm. And to be extra polite, what's another word which we pointed out was used in our one request that we might want to use?
Please.
Please, very good. I'll write it on this side so we have it too. I'll just pretend it's at the bottom here, but we have please. Side note, as a teacher, I have learned how to write upside down in my placement. Please, did I write that?
That's
I
it.
did. Okay, just making sure nothing's
You got
upside down
it.
or backwards. Another thing. So if, say, you ask the waiter, may I have different food, please, or new food, please? And the waiter brings out what you actually asked for. What would you say if the waiter was like, here you go, here's your new meal? What's another polite thing to say? I know you know this one.
Thank you.
Yeah. And we can always throw in thank you to be nice too. And I'll just write it here so we remember to throw it in. Thank you. And then the waiter would say you're welcome. Very good. Let's see. So the next scenario is that you're shopping at the supermarket and you cannot find the milk that you need. So how might you express this to an employee?
Is it okay if can I get the milk? Find?
Okay. That's a good try. So these are, So these are more when asking for something. I see what you're trying to do, and that's very good that you're using your resources. But I know we went over this a different unit. When asking just regular questions, we typically have 5 W words that we use to start questions. Do you remember what they are? I can write them on the back here as we maybe brainstorm them. No?
Where? When?
When? That's one.
Where?
Where? Oh, you're flying through these ones.
Who?
Who?
What?
Yes, very good. There's one more. When, where, who, what,
Why?
why? And there's actually one more. It's the tricky H one, which we talked about.
How?
Yes. I forgot to mention how, but yeah. So we can also use these to start requests. You know, tying it in from last lesson, so. So you can use these, you can use these. I guess, I mean, and ideally I'd have the whiteboard next to me, so you could just ask me to flip. So maybe using one of these, how might you make a request?
How can I do something, please?
Yeah, that's good. I really like how can I? See, you can kind of use these together. So maybe how can I, and what was it we were doing? It was, you're at the supermarket and you cannot find the milk. So how might you express this to a worker that you can't find the milk?
Where
Yes, very good.
can I find the milk?
Perfect. And
Please.
they'll say, yeah, please. You can throw in please. Very polite. You are very polite in your requests. And the employee would say, aisle 6. And what would you say?
Thank you.
Yeah. Very good. A few more. Your roommate has left pasta in the fridge and it is starting to smell, which makes you upset. How might you express this to a roommate?
Why?
Why?
Why? Is it okay?
This one's a little tricky, actually, before we keep going. Because if it gets to a point where your roommate has left something in the fridge and it's starting to smell bad, you might not want to give them the yes or no choice of a request to throw out the food, right? Even though it is the most polite thing to do, you could maybe say, throw out the pasta, please. Or you maybe should. Do you know that word? You should?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you?
Or can you? Yeah. Oh, that's good. We can make this a request. Yep. Can you?
Throw out the pasta, please.
Yeah, there you go. That's a very polite way to say it. You know, if I did have a roommate, though, who left food in the fridge for weeks, I might be making a demand. But you are very polite. And the roommate says, yes. And you would probably say,
thank you.
very good. All right, now that we've gone over a few situation cards, and you did excellent, by the way, we're going to ask ourselves a few questions as we reflect. So, which of your answers did you feel was the most polite? We had I'll just remind you of the situations. We had the pasta in the fridge. We had the supermarket where you needed to find milk, and the waiter who brought you the wrong order.
I thought the milk, the supermarket.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was pretty polite.
Yeah. Very good. How did your language change with each situation you found yourself in?
It sounded better, like more polite.
Yeah, it sounded more polite with a few situations.
Everyone around.
Yeah. Yeah. What polite phrases felt most natural to you when answering questions?
I would say like can I?
Yeah, you'd say can I? Or like may I maybe, yeah.
May I?
What would be considered polite in your culture? And how is it similar or different to the examples we use today in English?
I'm not really sure.
Not really sure? It's not much difference. Do we have similar like sentence starters like can I, may I?
Maybe. I can't really think of any though.
Oh, that's okay. You did a really good job today. And as we wrap things up, do you have any final questions for me?
Not really.
Not really?
No.
No, that's okay. That's all right. Well, you did great. Good job.
Thank you.
With that brings me to the end of my teaching demo. So, thank you. Hi, I'm at work and it's reflection time. As I look back on the full arc of the semester, it's nice to see how much my confidence and understanding as an emerging ENL teacher has grown over the course of each lesson that I've completed in class. When I was first beginning designing these lessons earlier in the term, I often felt uncertain about how to connect theory to practice or how to anticipate a learner's pragmatic needs. Returning to issue in this final project reminded me how far I've come, and I now approach lesson planning with a clearer sense of purpose, a stronger command in instructional design making, and a more nuanced understanding of how learners develop communication competence over time. Throughout the semester, observing how Shu's use of junctions and question starters in the videos we watched during her interview reactions helped me grow more confident in identifying a learner's strengths and opportunities for development. Earlier this year, I might have stopped at noticing her grammatical accuracy, but now I am able to look deeper into the social meaning behind her language use and seeing how her politeness, tone, and communicative intentions interact with structure. This shift reflects an important part of my growth, and I no longer view teaching English as simply correcting forms, but as supporting learners in navigating real-world communication as well. My evolving confidence became even more evident as I designed opportunities for Shu to practice speaking in areas that she's expressed discomfort in compared to reading and writing. Earlier in the semester, designing speaking tests felt intimidating. I worried whether or not I could create activities that felt purposeful rather than forced, but through repeating practice, feedback, and more exposure to pragmatic principles, I now feel far more capable of constructing speaking opportunities that are both meaningful and achievable. This final project reflects that shift, and I felt equipped to design tasks that required Shu to draw on prior knowledge while engaging with new pragmatic challenges, such as polite requests and socially appropriate responses. This semester has also strengthened my ability to introduce more advanced concepts, something I initially doubted I could do effectively. For example, including direct and indirect speech acts in my lesson felt like a milestone in my own instructional confidence. I now understand how to break down complex ideas, such as implied meanings or hinting, into accessible explanations that support comprehension. Similarly, distinguishing between requests and demands helped me realize how crucial it is to teach beyond vocabulary or grammar and towards the constructional means of utterance, as aspect emphasized by O'Grady et al., 2010, and one I feel increasingly prepared to weave into my teachings. What stands out most in this reflection is how I have grown in my understanding of pragmatics as a core element of teaching and learning language and not just an extra. At the beginning of the semester, I sometimes felt uncertain about addressing some of the more social norms or tones in the lesson, worried that it might be too hard to teach, and especially since I was so used to teaching students at an elementary school level in my personal experience. So teaching this concept to anyone felt a little just trickier for me. But now, after sustained engagement with these concepts, I feel confident that not only teaching them, but in recognizing their importance for learners like Shu, who aim to communicate respectfully and effectively across content. This final project has shown me that I can design instruction that supports both linguistic accuracy and social competence, which is something I probably couldn't say a few months ago. As I close out the year, I recognize that my own growth has been gradual, communicative, and deeply shaped by hands-on experiences. This final project serves as a meaningful accumulation of everything I have learned, which is how to observe thoughtfully, how to plan intentionally, how to integrate theory and practices into each of my lessons, and how to trust myself as an educator. Most importantly, it has reassured me that I am becoming the kind of teacher who can support students not only in forming corrective sentences and in academic settings, but in order to find their own voice within a new language. Thank you.